time now for Coming In Hot with Brent Wallace and former Ottawa Senator Jason York.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Coming In Hot. Brent Wallace alongside Jason York. This show proudly presented to you by Bet365. Yorkie, back in the playoffs, baby.
I told you. I didn't tell you all hot the trot yesterday. The sky is falling. Chicken.
Oh, wait a second. After the first two goals, they didn't look like they were going to blow up the Chicago Blackhawks.
Stop it. They listen. I thought that was one of their best first periods in a long time. They started on time. They gave up two shots. It was two shitty bounces, one off the side of the net, one off Sanderson's leg that went right back to whoever scored it for Chicago. But I thought, I tell you, we talked about this. I can't believe we're getting into the game. We haven't had any chit chat yet.
Not everybody likes the chit chat. Sasquatch 4315 last show. It was upset that we spent 11 minutes talking hockey.
Stop it, Sasquatch. The people love this talk show. Love the chit chat. We need chit chat. Anyhow, I thought they played well.
What do you need?
What do I need?
Are you are you derailing the show already?
Well, we could do. I don't know. You told me you're all upset that somebody said we have too much chit chat, so I thought we would not have the chit chat early. But that's what the true fans of Coming In Hot love. They love chit chat.
You know what chit chat usually means? You just pick on me for a little bit.
Well, listen. We'll have a little bit of chit chat.
All right.
What are you doing right after the program today? Where are you going?
I don't know how to tell you anything. So my son plays, which I think may be his final hockey tournament of his hockey career, as they played.
You got to go. You got to go.
CPSHA hockey, the league final. It's a league final in Toronto. So he plays at 2:30 in Markham. I don't know if I can get there in time. Now, I don't know if you know
talking about.
Listen, but I'm pretty ready to go. Like I'm ready like 3 days ago, right?
Okay.
So
there's a problem here. There's a problem I know you're going to get to because I know how this works. And anybody watching the talk show today knows that in every successful couple, marriage, whatever, it's opposites. So there's always one person that's on time and one person that's late. In my relationship, I'm the one that's late all the time. I'm never ready to play, ready to go somewhere. It takes me another 15, 20 minutes. There's always shit to do. So you're telling me that Lisa is the one that's making you late all the time.
So I will, this actually goes back to anybody that hangs out with me. It even includes my cameraman for 20 years who finally understood the assignment. If I tell you the car leaves at 9 a.m., it doesn't mean show up at the door and be ready to put your coat on at 9. It means in the car, out the door at 9, which means 8:50, 8:55, maybe at the latest.
Yeah. You know my excuses all the time because I'm the guy that shows up at 9:05 for that 9 o'clock car departure. I spent my entire life having to be on time in the NHL, where if you're 5 minutes early, you're late. And the bus will take off on you, get fined. So I said I need a break from that. I'm gonna show up a couple minutes late now. But you can make it to Toronto. You can make it to Markham. Just as soon as the show's over today, get in the Wally mobile and off you guys go. You can't miss this game.
We'll see. And then I'll miss tomorrow's game because our trade deadline likely. So I want to get there if I can.
Okay.
However, like it took me a while to adjust to you even. I'm still not really adjusted. Our show starts at 9.
10 to 9, I'm on here. 10 to
10
to 9, I was here.
I will get our producer, Jake, to come on if I have to. If it's before at 8:57, you're early.
Well, this is why it works. You are the anal retentive talk show host, and I like to be organic. That's why it works. It's you let things happen. You just don't know what's going to come up. Especially when the chit chat starts.
Can't. If you have a reservation for 6:30,
yes.
What time do you show up at the restaurant?
I get there at 6:30. Do you know what I do come early for? Do you know what I always am early for though? Is golf. I'm always getting, because you can't be late for your tea time, Wally. Cannot be late for your tea time. So,
Well, I
anyways,
would like you to think of this show as golf.
let's get to the show, for goddamn it. The Sens played well last night. Lots to talk about, lots to chew on.
Yes.
Hamburglar's joining us later.
Andrew Hammond, yes, he's going to come back and chat on the little talk show. I want to get his reaction to being, we'll call it feted last week, being honored by the Ottawa Senators. What that was like to be honored again after 10 years. Talk to him about his feature that was on TSN. It was pretty good. And then he and I have chatted throughout the last 10 years. And so always enjoy just come on to chat about things. We can even ask about goaltending and whatever we want.
Does the Hamburglar like chit chat? He's a little dry.
You're gonna have to ask him. His wife would be better. Marley would be better at chit chat.
Right.
She's very good. Hammond's a strong silent type, maybe.
Okay,
let's get to him shortly. This show brought to you by Charm Diamond Centers, more than 85 locations across the country, proudly Canadian owned and operated since 1972. Get custom ring building delivered in less than 4 weeks with the Charm Masterpiece program and unbeatable pricing policy. Check out a large selection of Canadian lab-grown diamonds and mine diamonds. Don't pay until 2026. Apply for the Charm Diamond Flexity card today. For more information, go to charmdiamondcenters.com. Chosen forever, Charm Diamond Centers.
Oh, beautiful, Wally, beautiful. And this show is also proudly brought to you by our good friends at Tim Hortons. And Roll Up to Win is back at Tim Hortons. That means you can win millions of amazing prizes with just the swipe of your thumb. Imagine your routine Tim's run turning into an unforgettable sell-off vacation, or $1,000 Rakuten cash prize, or an all-new, all-electric 2025 Volkswagen ID Buzz. Even the simple joy of winning a free coffee like I did the other day on my road trip, or a donut, can make anyone's day. It made my day. But you can only do this until March 23rd, so open up that Tim's app and get rolling. This is our game, Canada, so don't let this chance at winning millions of amazing prizes pass you by. Play Roll Up to Win on your Tim's app right now.
Let's see if I won today.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Damn it, Wally. You're like mush.
Oh, 0 for 3. That's just getting out of hand.
Hey, do you know what? I'm on a heater right now, and a lot of people play this. The Tim Hortons Tim's NHL Challenge, 5 in a row. You get 3 categories. You got to pick your goal scorers. I took the layup last night, Ovi to score. Ovi never lets you down. So I think if you get 6 or 7 in a row, you get a free coffee. So exciting times on this Tim Hortons app, Wally.
We'll see. We have the Sobeys pick'em coming up later in the show. We'll see how I do on our 5 picks this week.
Alrighty.
All right, get to the game. Here's what I want to ask about this game. Obviously a huge win. The Senators needed the point.
Massive.
Right? And Tim Stützle, we can talk about the goal in a sec. We can talk about the point streak.
Yep.
Did we like this overall game? And when I say, and so I felt like this game was the IKEA commercial. Start the car. Just forget about it. Take the points and get the hell out of Chicago.
You think?
Yes. I didn't like this game. You can see, I thought they were sloppy with the puck. They had 18. You can get the giveaways can be arbitrary sometimes.
Yeah.
I just thought there was a lot of time from around behind the net where they were trying to get pucks up the wall. They just couldn't get them there. I thought it was a very average effort. And I know you may argue with me, which is fine. I didn't like the overall effort, but I will take the points. And all you want to do sometimes is just win the game.
I'm going to strongly agree with you, Mr. Wallace, on that. And I'm going to tell you why. I watched the game twice. I watched it last night with some friends. And here's the problem when you watch with your friends. You don't see everything. So I got up early this morning because I knew we were going to get into it. And I watched this game with a fine-tooth comb. I thought that was one of Ottawa's best first periods in a long time. And what's been the problem with this team lately? Not starting on time. We talked about this yesterday. Lots of good things to like in the game. Number one, I thought Batherson, David Perron's best game as an Ottawa center, and I thought Norris was. I thought he was great. He was great, and what timing too? Because heading into the trade deadline, they're like, okay, what are we going to do? What's going on? I know it's Chicago, but hey, Chicago played really well. They were pesky. They were on you. I think he helped answer a few questions because he says, listen, I can still play this way. This is what I can do when I'm on. And you got to remember, he hasn't played a lot this year. But now, we talked about this yesterday as well, the ice is going to shrink. It's going to be all about winning battles, playing dirty, getting greasy. And those are all things that David Perron can do for you. And I thought he was really, really good last night. I thought Batherson was really good. And Ottawa was they started that game on time. They were all over Chicago. They didn't give them a sniff. They're back checking. They're all over them. And then what happens? Chicago gets a very lucky bounce on the first goal and then a very lucky bounce off Sanderson on the next goal. They didn't have any scoring opportunities really till then. So I'll tell you, when you're in that situation, and this is why Ottawa is like, they haven't been in these situations, right? Where games like this, you have to win. I loved their resiliency in that game because all of a sudden you're like, shit, we're playing this well. We've started on time. We've done everything right. And now all of a sudden we're down 2-1. So they didn't bend. I'm sorry, they didn't break. They bent a little bit. They stuck with it. Very next shift or two, who comes out and takes care of business? That line I'm talking about. Norris gets on the forecheck, first on it. Batherson with a real nice play. David Perron goes to net. They tie it. And then I just thought every single line in the game, Wally, did their thing. I thought Pinto, Ridley, Gregg, and Amadio had a heck of a game. Didn't factor in on the score sheet, but man, they were really, really good. That's the first time in a long time I liked all four lines. Like I said, okay, everyone's healthy now. Your second line's doing something, doing a lot, actually, their best line. But the third line was really good. And then who wins it for you in overtime? Timmy Stützle, who's been on fire lately. So I tell you, those games are a lot harder to win than people think. Number one, you got a loosey-goosey Chicago team that's playing with nothing to lose, playing loose, getting bounces, even the third goal, Wally. So people will they're going to blame Matt and Paolo on that. But did you see what happened before that goal? It's like the puck it was like one of those balls you throw against the wall and bounces. You don't know where it's going to go. Bounces over Sanderson's stick. Matt and Paolo does get beat. But again, it gets tied. Ottawa still stick with it. Get to overtime. Ryan Donato turns the puck over. Ottawa gets it and scores. So that's your game.
We can get to Ryan Donato in a sec. So two things you brought up of the way Chicago plays. I didn't think they had any structure. So playing that type of game,
it's hard to play
all over the ice is hard to play. I totally admit that. I didn't think Ottawa took care of the puck well enough. I thought they were good. Like if you look, I think David Perron was behind the net. Now, I am not picking on David Perron. I thought that was his best game. I think he's looked really good of late, and he's super strong on the puck. He threw a puck. If I'm not mistaken, it's him. Throws a puck up the wall to Zub, which should have been an easy out. And suddenly it's not anywhere near. It's in a skates. It's up the wall. It's a turn. They had a few of those turnovers. I'm like, you've got to take care of the puck because leaving Linus Ullmark all alone in front just doesn't make good hockey.
Are you talking about on the one on the what did Chicago end up scoring on that one?
No, they didn't. There was one other one they did, right? Their turnover. Anyway.
Yeah. I like if you watch
Washington.
You watch Pinto on the breakouts, how calm he is when he gets pucks. The Senators do a really nice job of coming up the wall and using that far D on the breakout. I really like their game because I know how hard those games are when you're a lot of pressure.
Okay.
Like, listen, they understand. They understand if they lose that game, they're going to have to face the music and the pressure is just going to tighten like that. So tell you, I really like how they played.
I don't know. I appreciate your opinion on this. I don't know what you saw. And I mean that with all due respect. Like I'm watching this game going, it's tough to manufacture playoff games. They always say every game's a playoff game, which is horseshit. You can't manufacture that. But if this is a playoff game for the Sens, that's atrocious.
Not a playoff. It's not a playoff.
I will take the win.
That's a game. That's a game when you're playing against Chicago and you're also playing against your own self because you're doing a lot of good things right. And Chicago still tied you in the game. So
I know.
It's so easy. Wally, it's so easy to get away from your game and to try stuff. And then all of a sudden you make a really big mistake. Like, you know how many, I thought Ottawa's back pressure in that game. There's a play earlier in that game where Connor Bedard skates up, tries to make a back pass. Ottawa back pressure was so hard. They pick it off. They go the other way. End up hitting the post on that opportunity. I thought they outchanced them. I don't even have the numbers here. Like they probably outchanced them in that first period. I'd say at least 10-1.
Amadio and Sanderson, right, with the posts. By the way, Michael Amadio could be argued him and David Perron were the two best players on the ice for me last night.
Amadio, this is why you have guys like that, because they're not afraid of the moment. They've been in the moment. They're calm. They know how to play. They know what happens to games moving forward. It's
small little things.
I know people. I know a lot of people aren't Amadio fans. I just think if you watch him very closely, the little details in his game are very impressive. I thought he was really good too. No points, so people, I got no points, but like I said, I liked how all three lines chipped in that game. The fourth line was pretty good too. I thought they did some nice things as well. But first time in a long time, you've said they've got all the lines going.
Yeah, I thought Adam Gaudette was pretty good last night.
He was good too. Yeah. No, it's good. So the question is,
Jake Sanderson, not so much. And then Thomas Chabot left the game in the second. Didn't play the third period.
Question for you.
Jake Sanderson, by the way, Yorkie. Thomas Chabot out of the lineup for the third period. Jake Sanderson played 23 minutes. That's a low 23 minutes to me. That's why I think he just struggled a bit last night.
I'm looking. He was still good. Again,
I'm not saying he's not good. I'm just saying last night's game, while you think it was a Mona Lisa, I think it was drawn by you.
Explain to me where Sanderson struggled. Explain the situations where you saw struggling. Tell me.
Okay. We're moving on. No, I don't have time.
Struggling's not when a puck bounces off your skate and goes right to the other guy and they score, or when a puck bounces over your stick. That's not struggling. Over the course of an 82 game schedule, when you do so many things right, there's going to be games where the puck doesn't bounce your way. It's how you stick with it. I don't know. Was he struggling when he kept that puck in and he made that beautiful play to back
page? He's allowed to make good plays. Don't get me wrong. For Jake Sanderson, that wasn't his best game. That's all I'm saying. Why can't you just... he had some unfortunate bounces that turned into plays that were in favor of the Chicago Blackhawks. If you're struggling, you don't seize the moment when your team needs it, and you come in, swoop in, pick a puck off, make a beautiful play to Batherson, who sells the shot, goes over to Norris. It's key moments and key times that Sanderson's still able to do. So, yeah, did he have some bad bounces? Absolutely. Did he struggle? I don't know. I don't think so. Okay. We'll get back to the game in a sec, but we take care of some business, and then Hammy's standing by to talk to us. He's a busy guy. He doesn't have all day for us.
Every time you say Hammy, I think of that old show from the 1970s, Hammy Hamster. You probably didn't watch that. They had the old GP, the guinea pig, Hammy Hamster.
I didn't. No.
There's some people in the chat that have seen Hammy Hamster.
Please, no one admit to this. Yes. Can you? We're going to give away golf today, by the way, for Club EG. Before York, you get to it, just email the show at CIHSends, or email the show CIHSends@gmail.com. Say, let's tee it up with Club EG for a chance to win a foursome to Equinel today. All right.
Okay. Yeah.
All right. Go ahead, Yorkie.
Yeah. Once again, the show also brought to you by Club EG. Club EGs they're all over the place in the Ottawa golf scene. Aside from becoming a member, you have access to 60 amazing golf courses at member-only rates. They run over 10 golf leagues, several golf trips all around the world, major events like the Ottawa Sun Scramble, Ottawa Citizen Golf Championship, and more. You don't have to be a member to register for any of their events, leagues, or trips, but if you do want to become a member, you'll be part of a great golf club that caters to every single type of golfer. Check out clubeg.golf to get started and playing some more golf this summer.
Also, this show brought to you by Sobeys, who have a new game that you can download the app, the Sobeys app, and you can play Sobeys My NHL Picks weekly for the chance to win big prizes like a trip for 4 to this year's Stanley Cup Finals. A new slate of games opens up every Thursday from now until the end of the regular season. So download the Sobeys app, pick the winners of 5 NHL games, and compete for your chance to win prizes such as a Sobeys grocery offer or 150,000 Scene Plus points. So you can do it right now. I went 4 for 5 last week. I will tell you, to this week, I have picked all 3 Ottawa games, Philly, Detroit, and the Rangers to win, the Sens to win all those
Mhm.
games. Plus, now that it doesn't want to load on time, and it's just I've got the wheel of death.
Oh boy.
Okay, we'll get back to it.
We'll get back to it. We'll get back to it.
Anyway, go check it out. Sobeys, download the Sobeys app today. All right, without further ado, who's tired of waiting for us probably, Andrew Hammond, our good friend.
Hey guys, how you doing?
Good, buddy. How are you?
Good. Also,
I appreciate you taking the time.
I was listening before. Hammy Hamster was one of the nicknames before the Hamburglar ever
Right?
came along. So
You know
never
what I'm
seen,
talking.
the movie or whatever, but definitely one of the nicknames that I know a lot of people have seen it.
Who gave you Hammy Hamster?
Yeah, who gave you that, Hammy?
Honestly, I can't remember.
It's a little blur.
There's too many nicknames at this point, or at least iterations of Hamburglar, that it's hard to keep track.
Fair enough.
Are people still like, if you go somewhere, is anybody still calling you the Hamburglar?
No, not really. I mean, no fans or anything are recognizing me where I'm living these days for that or anything. Some people at work and stuff will joke about it and whatnot, but for the most part, It's just Andrew.
So where are you?
Is it weird? Hey, hold on. Is it
Yeah.
weird to not be called like Hammy or a nickname that you've had now for
Andrew? Yeah, that's
20
weird.
years.
Not really. I don't know. It always felt like, honestly, if anyone called me the Hamburglar, it was kind of more weird. Like they didn't know me. It was always some like iteration of either Hammy or Burglar. Burglar kind of became the shortened one. So like Hamburglar felt very formal.
Yeah. You need to shorten it, eh? Yeah, because you don't come up to you like, hey, Hamburglar, because it doesn't sound right. It doesn't have like a quick.
It doesn't roll off the tongue very well.
No.
Exactly. Hey, so Hammy, so where are you living now? And I heard you're working for a pharmaceutical company or something like that. Is that correct?
So firstly, we're back living in Michigan, which is actually where we lived.
Okay.
Spent our summers when I was playing in Ottawa. We kind of bounced around all over the place for a while, but we're back in Michigan now. And I'm working for a medical device company. So a little bit different than pharmaceuticals.
Okay.
Basically dealing with doctors and surgeons, making sure they know how to use our products properly, educating them on that. And that's kind of the day-to-day life now.
I did tell him this, Andrew. He doesn't always listen to when I give him notes.
Hey, it's close.
It's close.
All right. What was it like for you last Saturday to be at center ice and to hear the roar of a crowd one more time to say, hey, thanks for a magical run?
A little uncomfortable, to be honest. But it's one of these things that, like, my kids, they're getting older now, but they weren't around at that time. So they've seen the videos, they've seen different things, but I don't think they've really understood it until seeing it on Saturday. So that was, other than just wanting to be back, and I don't know. I don't want to say put a bow on it, but it's pretty close to it now that we're at 10 years. So that was a big part of it, and I didn't really have expectations. Playing San Jose on a Saturday night, you don't know what kind of crowd you're going to get. So it was awesome, and like I got to talk to a lot of fans before. I did a season ticket holder event before, and during the run, you kind of I was trying to stay in my own little bubble, kind of. And so I didn't know a lot of the things that were going on around me, and to hear some of the stories from fans and how it impacted them, I think that kind of was one of the most special parts. I will say that it felt like I was at center ice for about an hour after the video played until the captains came up. Wasn't expecting that part of it. And I think the funniest part too is, like, I think you guys saw that the one burger got thrown on the ice and Giroux kind of shot it, and it landed like right at my feet. In the inner dialogue of, do I pick it up? Do I not pick it up? Do I pick it up? Do I not pick it up? Really wrestled with that one.
Billy J says he was the burger thrower. In fact, it was in my pocket for hours.
He's holding it.
I did not take a bite. I will say that I don't know if it's just how it hit the ice. It looked like a bite had been taken out of it.
Oh.
But Ian Mendes took it after. I don't know what he had planned for it, but I do think he was holding on to it for something.
Hammy, did you think about taking a bite?
No.
The crowd would have went nuts.
That never crossed my mind. It did cross my mind of just dropping the burger instead of the puck, but
yeah,
that would have been good.
Hammy,
and
you failed.
There was talk of that, and I guess at the end of the day, we thought that Gary Bettman may not be too happy if that happened. So I don't want to get anyone in trouble. I figure I kind of try.
We lose Ham. Oh, where's?
That's all right. He'll be
right
back.
Oh, can you imagine that if Hammy would have dropped the burger?
Listen,
the place would have went nuts.
Yes, and let's not forget they have the two biggest stars in the NHL, are arguably two biggest stars under contract, McDavid and Austin Matthews doing McDonald's commercials. They'll be fun.
Oh my God, yeah. That what? Drop the burger, and McDonald's might be calling Hammy again to get these get him back doing some commercials. Yeah. You can tell he doesn't like the spotlight though, eh? Like I felt, and some guys are like that. Like it's weird when
he was always like that though.
Yeah,
always.
Yeah.
Even during that run, he just like rolled with it. Like you don't get to be in the NHL and just try to pretend nothing's going on. But he was so relaxed and just a normal everyday person in the entire time. Let's bring him back. I think he's here. There you are.
Sorry about that. Technical difficulties. What I was going to say though is I basically, the picture of me holding up the hamburger skating off.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
I was like, I'll at least do that. So I kind of held it up. I don't know if it really resonated with too many people, but figured I'd give it one more burger salute kind of thing.
Jake, I may have messed this all up. I apologize. I'm pushing buttons I shouldn't, but here is the picture. Okay, Jake, can you fix what I've done? There we go.
The burger salute.
That was one of the great moments. Do you have that framed?
Yeah. McDonald's gave me the gold card with that picture, but just different angle.
Okay.
In the frame with that.
I got you.
Hammy, what was that? I remember you said this before when you're like, what did that gold card give you? Like, what was it good for?
I don't know if the gold card's good for anything other than just kind of something on my wall. I've never tried using it. It looks like it would be functional, but from my understanding, it's I don't think there's any value on it. They gave me gift cards that I think were kind of in lieu of the unlimited McDonald's supply. I don't know if the gold card works or not.
Yeah,
you still owe me a gift card.
I think I still have.
You'll remember the story, right? In Colorado, you said, I will give you a gift card if you will say meow on TV.
Oh, yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Why'd you have to say meow?
It's in a movie, right? Or TV show?
Is it Anchorman?
Is it Anchorman? Anyway, yes. You might be right. Anyway, so I think we're in Dallas. And so the next game, he's like, I'll give you the gift card if you say meow on TV. So I did in the opening. I'm like, right now, meow, the Sens are trying to win, or right, meow, the Sens are trying to win, or something. And somebody tweeted at me, I think Brent Wallace just said meow.
Yeah. Hammer, listen. Wally never forgets when somebody owes him money. It was his anniversary. It was his wedding anniversary yesterday. And he took his wife to the Lone Star because it was 50% off on Tuesdays. Can you believe that?
She likes fajitas.
Oh my God.
See,
I didn't know that about Wally. I gotta think differently now that he's had a dartboard with my face on it now that I haven't paid my debts.
He's gonna hound you for that gift card forever. Don't worry. He's gonna keep reminding you.
It's only been 10 years. I'm sure I'll forget.
Oh God.
Never. Um,
I'll try to find.
was it weird to be, I don't know, in the building just as a non-player, like walking past the bench where you enjoyed so many memorable moments, and then being at center ice? Like you're so humble and quiet. And I know you said you felt like you were there for an hour. Is it weird to, I guess, the transition to being just a former player?
Yeah. I mean, it was weird because like that's only other than the game I played with Montreal, that's only the second time I've been back there in close to, I think, six, maybe 7 years.
Yeah.
I think the last time would have been like training camp before I was traded to Colorado, which that was like the Matt Duchene trade. So it was a long time since I had been back, and yeah, it was weird. I even said to someone before, like, I'd be a lot more comfortable even being out of shape and not having put pads on in 2 years, having to play the game than having to just walk out and drop the puck. But yeah, it's one of those things. Like, I didn't do it for me necessarily. It really was for the kids, and they had a blast. And like, they're totally invested. I can't say enough about how they treated us. It was great, and like the whole family, they're all Senators fans again, and I kind of give my oldest a hard time because I played for a lot of teams, whether it be in the NHL or at least for their American League affiliate and dressing as a backup, and I did not ever play for the Vegas Golden Knights, and that up until Saturday was his team of choice because Mark Stone. So I'm hoping that I at least converted him to one that I played for. So it was great. They had a blast. It was a lot of fun.
Hammy, any chance we can get you one of these days to put the pads back up and suit up for an alumni game?
Oh,
possibly.
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you why it's a long pause. I told this story last week. The last time my last game in the NHL was in Carolina.
We lost you.
Oh, I was getting to the good stuff there. You always got to. That's the thing with goalies, Wally. When they retire, they never want to play nets again. Ron Tugnut. I don't. He's never put the pads on again. He doesn't want to play nets, except for that one alumni game we had on Parliament Hill, which was awesome. People remember we played on the hill. All the ex-Ottawa Senators played. Oh, it was amazing. Fish played. Nealer was there. Alfie. It was fantastic. But goalies, they never want to go back at nets. Freddie Brathwaite, good friend of mine, hates playing nets. They always want to play out. So,
and Ron Tugnut was really good. Oh, yeah. As a toe dragger at the blue line.
Good hands.
Yeah. I used to play with him in media hockey every Wednesday at Civic Center.
Oh, yeah.
He was fantastic. Yeah. But it's really weird when you have like Kent Manderville and Ron Tugnut and Brad Smith and a few other guys that played in the NHL against Chris Stevenson and Terry Marcotte. And
Terrell was he's finally had to hang up the skates. The old body gave out on Terry. That used to be a great skate because a lot of the media guys played. Now it's all young guys on Wednesday. Wally.
I had to stop playing. It's too fast.
Yeah, it's getting too quick.
I was just there for the comic relief. Anyway, so we're struggling to get him to reconnect, but I would like to see. It would be great to see him put on the pads again. We'll have to hear his answer. So this show will be 2 hours long if we have to get his answer.
Yeah, it's really cool because the Senators as a franchise now are getting to a point because they've been around now since the early 90s where you got a lot of history, right? And that's the thing that Michael Andlauer really understands, getting the alumni back involved, bringing guys. How many guys are they brought back now? It's nostalgia, right? Bring guys back. It's so good for your brand. It's so good for the fan base. And then it makes guys that played here feel like, you know what? This team is first class and they're bringing me back. And look at Hammer right there. Look at Ham. He's like, he treated me so well. I brought my family there. My kids now love the team. It's just a smart way how to run your hockey club. And Michael Andlauer, because he was in Montreal. He understands it.
Yes.
And, it's been such a refreshing, really important change that this group's done.
Well, let's not forget, like Ottawa doesn't, and we've talked about this before, have a very deep history of players. Like Brady Tkachuk's about to play his 500th game. I think 7 guys, maybe it's 6. I'll show it later. Have played 500 games or more for the Ottawa Senators.
It's not that. It's not that, Wally. It's not that. It's just before.
No, but it's part of it. Like you can't wheel through the Stanley Cup winning team from here's the 1993. No. So that's part of it, right? Like,
I'll just tell you. People before, it's like when you used to come around, there wasn't a welcoming environment like there is now. That's the difference. That's the difference.
No questions that they're bringing them back, but Ottawa still doesn't have that history. At least they're trying to form some kind of history.
It's doing, and they're doing what I'm saying is doing a great job of embracing the history they do have, because I think it's great for your fan base and great for your brand.
I hear him coming in. Nice to see you again.
He's back.
I'm sorry for the technical difficulties.
It's okay. We appreciate your time. I will just say, are you willing to play in an alumni game as a goaltender?
I can see you guys perfectly when I'm in the lobby, and then as soon as I come on, I start losing it. To end that story, though, pulled in Carolina, pulled in Russia, and then put him on, I don't know, a year and a half ago in a Division III beer league game in Tampa, Florida, and posted a shutout. So I don't know if there's a better way to go out than with a shutout, knowing that my 2 previous attempts going out didn't end so well.
So you got pulled in like a real game or in an alumni game?
No, I got pulled in when I was with New Jersey and Carolina.
Oh, okay. When you said Russia, like, wait a sec. I just didn't know. And then you said beer league. I didn't know that you were switching. I just wanted to make sure. What was, by the way, I know off topic.
I would consider it again, though. I would consider it again. Put him back on.
Well, Yorkie's one of the board members of the alumni. He's going to get you to play.
I'm on the board, Hammy. We'll be in touch. Okay. We'll be in touch. Be great to have you.
What was that game like? We'll get back to something else, but the game where you played in Montreal, I'm not sure if it was it 2 years that you went without playing in the NHL and then played that game in Montreal and it was against Ottawa, right? No.
I think it was even longer. I think it was close to 4 years. And it was with Montreal. My first game back was with Montreal on Long Island.
Yes.
We'd already prepared to go to Europe for the next year. I thought I was done. That ship had sailed. And then to come back and play in Long Island and get the win, I think it was 2-1. I don't know. I mean, it's one of those things that makes the grind of don't get me wrong. I love playing hockey. It was a lot of fun, even playing in the minors. But your goal is always to play in the NHL. And when you don't think it's going to happen, then you get another chance and you take advantage of it. And I'd say that's the one thing throughout my career I'm probably most proud of, is that whether it was the start in Ottawa with the run, like when you get your opportunities and you take advantage of it. I did that obviously with Ottawa, and then in playoffs with Colorado, where I hadn't played really much at all that year, had hip surgery the year before, and we're down 3-1 going into Nashville. And I think I stopped 44 or 45, and they were the President's Trophy winners that year, to steal that game. Then the same thing with Montreal, just after a long time in between, taking advantage that you get that chance and you make the most of it. So it was great.
Is there anything from the Hamburglar run, because I've talked to you, I feel like 18 times about this run, that people don't know that you went through? Are you using the Mark Methot dial-up?
We got a black screen.
Is there a satellite dish on top of the car?
That was a good question too, Wally. Oh my God, we're just getting to the good stuff.
That's fun. He'll be back, I'm sure. I don't know how to get to where we're going anymore.
You know what's amazing, and if I don't know if we'll be able to get Hammy back, but when you look at that record and what he did, I just want to know how he did it. Like, if you actually break that down, because there's so much odds now in sports and betting, the odds of doing what he did, I don't know, 0.1% to come in and do that. Like, that's what makes it so crazy. That's why he comes back and he's celebrated, because it's just, those are sports stories that just make live sports the best thing to watch. It's crazy. It's crazy when you really think about it, because I looked at the stats again, his save percentage, the record, and coming from really, as far as hockey terms go, like, he wasn't supposed to play. Like,
he was just supposed to sit there.
He wasn't supposed to be in the NHL. And is that the greatest Ottawa Senator story?
Name me a bigger one.
Right?
Like
I'm just thinking off the top of my head.
Maybe
now.
All right. The first time they get into the playoffs, Igor Kravchuk. Is it getting to the cup final? Those are all things. But the thing about this that makes it so remarkable, that it's so unexpected. It's so unexpected. Oh, completely.
It's just and if anytime you watch a movie that kind of pulls at the heartstrings a little bit, it's always usually an underdog story. Like, everybody loves a good underdog story, and that's why I think dodgeball, a true underdog. What's that called? Average Joe's, the Average Joe's Gym against Globo Gym. Very similar storyline.
The thing with the Hammond run, though, on top of it all, it wasn't just a run. Like, they needed that run up until the very last day to get into the playoffs. That's what made that whole thing.
Add that in there. So here's producer Jake just threw in one of my favorite movies, Rudy. It's almost like Rudy. Love that movie. Well, even you have to like Rudy.
I like Rudy. It was a very good movie. Yep.
Very, very good. Very good. Yeah. But
all right, I don't think we're getting Hammond back.
It's all good. It's all good. He's coming back to play in the alumni. That's all I want to get out of him. We got him.
All right.
Hey,
go ahead.
Do you know, just back for the game last night?
Yeah.
I'm going to throw a stat at you. And this player last night played, I've got the stats from last night, played 21 minutes in the game. 21 minutes. Actually, to be 21:04. And nobody has talked negatively about this player once, and he was on the ice for 21 plus minutes last night.
Well, that would be one Travis Hamonic. Oh,
right.
By the way, I'm in Singapore. Our first hotel room number is 0203. So I'm like, that's funny. That's how I remembered. But the room number was Travis Hamonic. The next hotel, we're on floor number 23. I was going to send you a picture of it just to say,
oh yeah,
he remains with me wherever I go. Sorry, go back.
You're a big Hammer. You're a big Hammer supporter. I know you love the Hammer. But yeah, no, I'm just saying, like, I always print off the time on ice, and it's like, played over 21 minutes last night. Like, he stepped up, played some important minutes. Nobody's talking about him in a massive game. You couldn't lose.
Okay, what's your point? That we could talk about him. There's like 3 shots that he doesn't get through. There was the play, like the Matt and Palo play behind the net. If I'm not mistaken, Travis Hamonic is right next to him when he drops the puck up back. I'm like, why are they together? Anyway, so let's move on, Yorkie, because I want to get to Tim Stützle.
Yes, let's talk about Tim. He was great again.
Take care of some business, and then we will do Tim Stützle, which means you're a BEI friend.
BEI, good Friday. Yeah, Free Hockey Friday. Maybe Friday, as Dominic Hasek used to say. Spring is just around the corner, and that means time to start landscaping. And if you need some landscaping stones, some aggregate, maybe thinking of getting your driveway done, Bonisher Excavating is here to help you with some competitive pricing on all your landscape needs. So give them a call at 613-432-1120 or go to bonishierexcavating.com. BI helping to shape the Auto Valley.
And of course, our show proudly presented by Bet365, our presenting sponsor of Coming In Hot. Open an account today with Bet365. Bet on a huge range of markets. Use code NATION. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary. Bet365 must be 19 plus. Please play responsibly. Ontario only. Download the app today. After the trade deadline, Yorkie, we will discuss the odds for the Stanley Cup favorites, because I'm wondering if they're going to change after the things that have happened of late. As of yesterday, the Edmonton Oilers still the Stanley Cup favorite, and like Winnipeg was 6th if you go to Bet365. I'm like, wait a sec.
Lack of respect.
Who right now would you say is the odds-on favorite to win the Stanley Cup?
Let me look on my magic. I always like to look at the standings, and I like to look at goal differential. I love goal differential, Wally. I really like that move Colorado did with Rantanen. Like they were able. I think Necas, or however you say his name, is a really, really underrated player.
Yeah, he was their leading scorer when they traded him. Yeah,
I just think he's great. Colorado currently in a wild card position. I like Colorado a lot, Wally.
How do you like them? I'm way off topic. How do you like them over Winnipeg?
I don't trust Hellebuck. I just don't trust him. He hasn't. I'm like a show me guy.
Yeah,
I'm a show me guy, and every time he's been put to the test in big games, he's been outplayed by the other goalie every time. So that's a mental hurdle that Winnipeg's going to have to. Well, he's going to have to overcome, and who knows? Maybe he doesn't. Winnipeg's a great team. They're big. I'm a big Adam Lowry fan. They got all the elements. But that's so tough. Are they? As good as they've played, I'm looking at the standings here. Like Dallas Stars are a really good hockey team. And Ottinger's a good goalie as well. To be honest, Wally, I think it's wide open this year. I think anybody can win the Stanley Cup. This is a year. Yeah, I look at look at Tampa just did. We haven't even talked about that. Like, remember you asked me who I'd take off Seattle, and I said,
Yanni Gord.
Yanni Gord, but who else thought Oliver Bjorkstrand could help you? Tampa Bay Lightning. Those guys they make so many good trades and bring in, because it's like you said, when you bring in a guy, and I'll go back to Ryan Donato for a second because I want to get in that a little bit. You got to bring in a guy that's going to come in and fit with your team. And right away, Gord's going to fit in. He knows how Coop does things and what's expected. And then you bring in Bjorkstrand, who's going to be a really good, second or third line player. And they both play with jam. They both play with speed, and they're both have had success in the playoffs as far as scoring. And I think it's a great trade for Tampa. So I say look good for Tampa. They got a lot of good key elements on their roster. They got You look at the move they made earlier this year too, Wally, when they brought McDonough back. Ryan McDonough is a warrior in the playoffs. Chernik's one of the best shutdown D in the league. Plus they got Hedman. They got Vasilevsky. They got a world-class player in Kucherov. Braden Point is, I think, a tremendous.
Anthony Cirelli, very underrated.
I say watch out for Tampa in the playoffs, man. They that's a big
All right,
move.
So head-to-head, Florida, Tampa right now, 7-game series. Who are you picking?
I'm taking Tampa. I just think it's so tough to repeat. I love that move. I just love that move Tampa did, and I love the Seth Jones move too. But you know what? Both teams probably aren't done. So, it's the trade deadline is going to be really, really interesting, and we haven't even talked about Ottawa yet. And I know we're doing a show tomorrow, but it'll be. I don't know. Here's the question I was going to ask you. I'm going to throw it at you. If you were to trade for Ryan Donato,
don't ask me what.
Where is he? What line is he playing on?
Oh,
where are you putting him? Tell me. Where is he playing? Where are you putting him?
Where do we have to play him at? Left?
No, well, where would you play him?
Right in David Perron's spot.
So I'll ask you.
Well, so people want him to play with Tim Stützle. Are you going to put Norris and Tkachuk together? Stützle, Donato? Maybe. Like that's above my pay grade. But he would be my second line left winger. And
so based on,
I don't care if he plays with Norris or Stützle at the moment.
Yeah, David Perron's last game last night really is going to not confuse things, but he's going to make Ottawa think long and hard about what they do on Friday, because how David Perron played last night, and based on when I watch Ryan Donato and how he plays as a player, I would keep Perron there. Like
Yorkie. The guy's got 23 goals. He's on a 6-game point streak. He generates every time he's on the ice. Mind you, he did have a little bit of a gaffe to Tim Stützle at the end of the game. I'm okay.
Did you watch Perron's goal?
Listen, David. Okay, so we're gonna take one game of David Perron and go. Yeah. That's it. He's great. Leave him there. I will take David Perron every day. Or sorry, I will take Ryan Donato every day.
Based on what? His long history of playoff success. He's been on 5 teams in the last 7 years. Hasn't scored consistently in the league up until this year.
So all I need is this year, Yorkie. Like you said, I don't need anything from before. I just need him to continue to play the way he's playing right now. He's playing on a different level.
Oh, I don't know. He's on a really bad team. It's a really bad team. And I watched him.
You still have to score, though.
You got to score, but I really liked Ottawa's 3 lines last night. I like Ridley Gregg, I thought played really well last night. He easily could have had a couple goals. He's been good all year. And he's young.
Eric Condra issue.
No, he doesn't. Ridley Gregg when Eric Condra was here, he was an older player that wasn't getting any better. It was not fast, was really, really smart, but he was more of Ridley Gregg's going to continue to get better. And by playing,
he gets breakaways, he just can't score. That's all.
Anyways, on your third line right now, where he's playing with Pinto and Amadio. Oh, that's a really good line. So I'm not breaking that line up.
So you're going to tell me you're keeping David Perron over Ryan Donato before we get off topic?
Yeah, I am.
We may not have any viewers tomorrow.
Because here's the reason. What are you going to have to give up to get Ryan Donato? What are you going to have to? Because I think there's going to be a lot of teams that are trying to get him.
Oh, you're going to have to overpay. I don't believe Ottawa makes this decision. But if you're asking me if I would like to add Ryan Donato to the lineup, it's a yes.
For sure. Would I do too? Absolutely.
But you're going to have to way overpay. Yeah.
It's unfortunate. It's unfortunate that the trade deadline is Friday. Because I would like to see these lines play together, because unfortunately Ottawa's been so unhealthy. You haven't had Batherson and Norris for a long time. They just got back. They've now played 3 games. This line looks like it could have some potential.
Sure.
And now you're going to go out. Let's just say they did make the trade, and then you're going to put somebody into that position and hope it works, because you don't know if it's going to work.
No, to get Ryan Donato, you've got to give up a first. I think that's a starting point. I'm not sure that you get him less than a first.
Yeah.
And you can't.
I'm trying to. What's his Wally? What's his contract at right now, Donato? Do we?
Salary wise,
he doesn't make a lot of money as far as production wise. What you're going to get, I think it's a bargain for the goals.
$2 million.
Yeah, and is he a free agent next year?
Yeah, he should. Right, he should be a UFA. Yeah, he's UFA. Yeah.
Okay, so he's a rental. He's a rental for you, because he's going to want to cash in the summer with those 23 or whatever if he finishes with goals. So you're getting him as a rental. And then the price is going to be extremely high, and I just don't.
I'm with you on the price. So I believe Steve Staios will likely be fairly quiet, and I don't even know right now. I don't know what the latest is on Thomas Chabot, but not feeling well. But you may still need to hold on to a D here.
Yeah.
Right. They haven't run. They haven't. It's been 2 games. I think they had 8D. That's it.
Yeah. Here's the thing. If David Perron continues to play like he is right now, which I think he can, like he's a guy that's been in this situation before. He's got lots of experience. Like last night, Wally, he played with a ton of jam. So that is like making a trade without not making a trade, because you really haven't had him all season. He hasn't been healthy. He had some really serious family issues he had to go through, which, everybody knows what happened, and that weighs on you as a player. So if he's back with a nice clear head like he is right now and playing this way, it's like making a trade without making a trade. The question is, can he keep playing like that? And that's what the Ottawa Senators are going to have to come to grasps with on Friday. Do you overpay for someone, or do you roll the dice with what you still got? So glad I'm not the GM.
They just don't have the the draft capital to do all that stuff. Quickly, Tim Stützle, now a 13-game point streak. He looks, I don't know what to say. We do this every time. But if you appreciate Yorkie, our Tim Horton sponsorship, you should appreciate the title of this board.
A Tim's run. What's he going? Double and a double chocolate donut. That's what he's on right now. That's what I do, Wally, when I get in the car. Medium, one cream, one sugar, and a chocolate double. He's on one of those. That goal. He created that entire goal. Puck bounced. Donato threw up the boards. Well, actually, it wasn't Donato's fault. Just a bad bounce. But you know what was? You know what was Donato's fault on that goal? Did you see the drive-by he did on Stutzle? Oh, you didn't see that one, did you?
No. I was just all I watched from the Stutzle thing was to make sure he didn't kick it in.
All right, everybody that wants to make that trade, watch the winning goal. And this is one of the it is a classic drive-by where you just go for a skate and you don't play defense properly, and Stutzle just goes whoop, right around him and up the ice he goes. So
but we've seen.
I'm just going to tell you, if you do that drive-by under Travis Green, you're not playing. Like that's what's called a non-negotiable in overtime. A drive-by by the best player on the other team, and he goes down and creates and scores a beautiful goal, which they had to review, but they made the right call. That was just man. That's what stars do. They can create something out of nothing, though, right? And he did exactly that.
I was trying to think the other day about Connor Bedard. So Connor Bedard was come in and considered a generational player, right? And I would just quickly thought, if you're outside of Ottawa and someone said, would you rather have Connor Bedard or Tim Stützle on your roster? What do you think the chances are that Tim Stützle is picked ahead of Connor Bedard?
Where are you asking this question?
Outside of the Ottawa market.
Everyone's going to say.
And outside the Chicago market even.
So not the Ottawa market?
Can't ask. Well, the Ottawa is completely biased.
Yeah. And are you asking people?
I just want people outside, if they pay any attention to hockey.
So is it fans? Is it fans or people that cover the game?
Oh my God, Yorkie. We don't have to dissect the exact same thing. The point is, people are going to likely say they want to take Connor Bedard on their roster any day. And I'm like, Tim Stützle, if you're asking a player at the moment.
If you're asking the casual fan and everybody around and the NHL like that, they're all going to say Bedard. If you're watching people that watch the game and know the game, they're all saying Stutzle. Like it's not close right now. It's not close. The way Stutzle skates, that is what the NHL is built around now. Separation. If you can't separate with speed now in the NHL, it's really tough to be a superstar. Just look at all the top forwards in the league right now, Wally, and defensemen, and they all look at Jake Sanderson, who's going to be a superstar defenseman. Look at Cale Makar. Look at Quinn Hughes, and go to the forwards. Look at McKinnon. Look at McDavid. And if you're slow-footed, and not that Bedard's slow-footed, but I think we can all agree speed is not his greatest asset. No. If you don't have that, then you need to be big. Like Mark Stone doesn't have great speed, but he's big. Leon Draisaitl, superstar, doesn't have great speed, but he's big. So it's really tough. And I still think Bedard's going to be a really, really good player, but it's really tough to be a generational superstar if you don't have the speed or you're really big. It's just, it's tough. Like Braden Point, smaller guy, great speed.
Strong as an ox.
And Bedard's strong. He's big. I'm taking Stutzle because he's got generational speed and edge work. And man, he's got, you know what I like about him right now too? He's got a compete level in him. Like he competes, and Bedard will learn that. Like he's young. Like we're talking about a young player that's far from being what he's going to be. He hasn't even got his man strength yet. But I just, what, like I said, it's the speed part, or you got to be really big. The league is just so tough right now. So we'll see. It's going to be interesting to watch him. But as of, like, people are saying right now, they've got him on their Team Canada list. Well,
yeah,
the brakes a bit. He's and he'll be better next year. But like I said, we'll see. Interesting conversation though.
Yeah, like I think Tim Stützle is. I'd have to go through the list. He's a top 20 player in the league to me today, easily.
Right now?
Yeah,
top
like
20?
I'm trying. Like
yes, he is.
He may be top 10. I'd have to go through and look, and it's always arbitrary.
Look at it changes all the time, but look what he's doing right now in important games with real pressure. You just want to talk points, but even how he's competing, how he's back checking, how he's playing the game. No, and this is why this time of year is so important for a guy like Tim Stützle. He's still learning on the job too. Yeah. Like he's playing in high pressure moments, and he's seizing the moments. And carpe diem. He
knows how to get the car out of the driveway, so that's good. I think that's important.
Yeah. And listen, there's still
what I'm talking about, the Hyundai commercial where he has to call his sister.
There's still a lot of like, we're going to continue to watch him as the pressure. Like we're already going to be talking tomorrow about Saturday's biggest game ever against New York, and it's just going to get, the heat's going to just keep ratcheting it up more and more as we get closer to the playoffs. So
quickly, you know what that game is, and we can talk about it tomorrow. Brady Tkachuk's 500th NHL game.
Nice.
He is now already second in goals by an Ottawa Senator in their first 500 games. So 7 players have played 500 games for the Ottawa Senators. Brady will become the 8th when he does it. He's already 5th in points among those 8 players.
Yeah, what a player.
He loves to play the Rangers.
Yes, he does. Too bad old Trouba wasn't there anymore.
No, I wonder what they would have had a chat about at like Four Nations if they would have discussed anything. And finally, we're going to do a show at 3 p.m. tomorrow. Whether or not something happens, we'll discuss it regardless. Up until that time, from 11 o'clock until 3 o'clock, you can tune into Daily Face Off. They are doing a full trade deadline show. Former Ottawa Senator Nate Thompson is part of the group. Now they've got about 9 or 10 people lined up for that. They've got a lot. Yeah, I'm going to get him on the
good storyteller, Wally. Good storyteller.
Yes, I'm curious what he thinks about his time here in the nation's capital. Anyway, that's tomorrow. That's on Daily Face Off, and then at 3, you just switch over to us. If I do this right, we're going to give away another golf foursome today. Jessica Pierce is the winner of the Equinel foursome. By the way, carts included. That golf course is amazing.
Sweet course. Yeah, sweet course.
Get some rest. Tomorrow's a big day. And we will chat tomorrow at 3 o'clock. Unless something big happens in the meantime, and we will do something during the day.
And come on for a news breaking segment, you and I?
Yes. Breaking
Brent
news.
Wallace and Jason York, breaking news.
We're going to have a typewriter sound effect.
Love it. All right. Hey, drive safe. Drive safe on the way to Markham, and we'll see you tomorrow.
Thanks, Paul. Take care. See you, everybody. Thanks for tuning in, everybody.
Thanks for tuning in to Coming In Hot. If you enjoyed the show, hit that like button and be sure to subscribe to never miss an episode.